Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
I will never forget you. You will always be by my side. From the day that I met you.
Today I'm in my bed because I'm doing like a story time video. But basically this story time video is, as you can tell by the title, is ignored by my first date. So basically my first date ever in my life ended up ignoring me full time. Let's see, so I have my phone here to like back up. Started a bit over a month ago and I had joined this like app on my phone, like a dating app, but I wasn't looking for anything serious. I was just bored one weekend and I decided, oh, everyone's talking about this app, so I'm just gonna download it. I downloaded it, talked to some people, nothing serious, nothing exciting. I was like, okay, this is a shit app. Then this guy like messaged me on this app saying like, hi, how are you? And then I was like, I'm fine, thanks, how are you? And then we just like got to talking, and we got to talking, we small talked, talk about like what do you do, where he works, what I'm studying. We got to talking, talk about a little bit about interests, what kinds of, I think he asked me, like what do you like to do on your free time? And then I said I like watching movies, listening to music, just hang out with friends, like, you know, the normal stuff. And then he was like, oh, what kind of movies do you like? And I was like, well, I like scary movies, they're like my favorite. And then I like documentaries, and what else did I say? I just said like, I'm not really picky, but I don't really like action movies. And I asked like, oh, what about you? What kind of movies do you like? And then he told me, and then he was like, well, would you like to go to the movies with me or something? I was like, oh my god, like, yes, of course, because I was really like, not in love, of course, but like I was interested. I added him on Snapchat, so we talked more there, like just random stuff. Like we didn't talk about the movie stuff, like he asked me in the movies. We didn't talk about that after I said yes. So he asked again, like, would you like to go to the movies with me? And I was like, yeah, when are you free? And then he was like, any day, like you pick. And then I was like, okay, so how about that day, like a Thursday? And he was like, okay. And then I wanted to book the tickets just to like settle the deal, you know, because I didn't want to like just like, oh, let's just see and let's just go there and see what happens. I just wanted to like be organized, because I just like to be organized. And then I booked the tickets, and mistake number one, I paid for the fucking tickets, and we'll get into that later. I paid for the tickets, printed them, and it was like, oh, I love how organized you are. And so yeah, then I think, yeah, and then I added him on WhatsApp, because Snapchat, when you talk in Snapchat, it's just like it deletes your messages, and sometimes you don't see what the other person is sending, and it's just annoying. So I added him on WhatsApp. No, he added me because he asked my number, and we got to talking there. And then I asked, because he had told me that, I asked like, how old are you? And then he was like 27, and I was like, okay. And then I asked him for another picture, because on the app it only had like one picture of him, so I just wanted to like make sure that it's actually him. And I did that on Snapchat too, just in case, because, you know, there's a lot of freaks out there. And then yeah, he sent me a snapshot. No, he sent me a picture of him. It wasn't like a nude picture, but it was like it showed the body and it was good. And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this. And yeah, then I said like, oh, you don't look 27, and then he was like, okay, like, haha, you don't look 20 either, you look, did he say younger or older than me? I can't remember, but he said, basically said, I don't look my age either. And then, yeah, then we got to talking, and then I googled him, because he was like, he told me he's like an athlete. I was thinking like, oh, there must be some like information about him online. I googled him, and it turns out that he might actually be 33 and not 27, which is fine if he had told me that in the beginning, but he didn't. I guess he just lied. He's younger than he was. Basically, I found like his Facebook and like a website with his like info, and then that was really creepy from me, but I just wanted to like make sure that he's an actual person, just in case. Then I never got to ask like how old he actually is, so that's like still a mystery for me. Oh yeah, then we just talked, and he was like, oh, I can't wait to see you on Thursday and talk about your life, like hear more about why you came to the UK and your work and your studies, and if we get on, like we're going like, we're gonna go out and do all this stuff. And I was like, oh my god, like this is too good to be true, because he was so nice, and he was like actually treating me good and not like shit. Like I was just so happy and excited. I told all my friends like, oh my god, I have a date. Oh my god, I'm so excited, and everybody was just really happy for me, and I was happy for myself, like finally something good is happening in my life. And then Thursday comes, I'm really excited, really nervous, and I was texting like on that day, like can't wait to see you today, I'm really excited. And he was like, oh, what should I wear, like, which is really cute. And then I just thought, I'll just wear something, I don't care what you wear. And then, yeah, then Thursday night came, we met in front of the movies, we went to see The Martian, and yeah, so I went there, saw him, he was taller than me, which is really rare, like not a lot of people are taller than me, so that was good. And he smelled good, he looked good, I was just like, oh my god, like that's perfect. I was so happy, so nervous, and I saw him, we hugged, we talked a bit. I was like, I told him like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, but still excited, and that was just kind of like weird, because that was my first day. I've never been on a date, I don't know how to act. Like my experience in dating is based on like Netflix, like series and movies on Netflix. That's my dating experience, so not a lot. So yeah, I bought some candy, and he bought an ice cream, and then we went to the movies, we talked there. And then, oh, another thing, he was like texting me like before, he was like, oh, I wish it turns out to be it's gonna be a scary movie so I can hold your hand, and all this like really sweet stuff. I was like, because I never thought I would like that, but it just made me really happy and excited. The movie started, it was kind of awkward, like I didn't know what to do, because he was like touching my leg. We were still kind of talking, like before the actual movie we were still talking, and I couldn't hear him all the time, so I was like, yeah, which was kind of maybe a mistake. Like I've just been over analyzing it, like what should I do different, what should I have done differently, but this is fine. And basically I just, if he said something and I couldn't hear, I was like, oh yeah, haha, yeah, but maybe it was a question, I didn't know. But yeah, he was talking about his job, his like sporting life, and I was talking about like my job, and just normal stuff, like nothing weird, nothing different. Then the movie started, he was like touching my leg and we were laughing, but it was kinda awkward. It was just awkward. Not all the time, but like at some times. And then the movie was super long, but it felt like it went really fast because I was just like analyzing like everything all the time, and I don't know, it's just weird. And then the movie ended, we left, and then it was just kind of like we had nothing to talk about. Like, we were talking about the movie a bit, and then I was like, oh, do you have any plans for tonight? Like, do you have work tomorrow? And then he was like, yeah, like he needs to go home, but he can walk like me home. And then we went to Tesco, I bought something to eat, I can remember. And then we walked home, talk about like random stuff like weather, studying, work, but nothing like personal, or like nothing interesting basically, just like basic stuff. And then it was time for us to like depart, and I was like, well, it was a great evening, thank you, I had fun. And then I hugged, and then like I was like, oh, we should like, do you want to meet again, or like we should meet again or something? And they was like, yeah, of course. I was like, oh, perfect. And then I told him like, oh, text me when you get home. Then I got home, called up my friends obviously and told how everything went, and I was just really excited, but kind of like, because I was just kind of expecting more from the dates, but maybe it's just because my expectations were really high, and that's why I was kind of let down. And then he texted me like, I'm home, let me read these texts. Not like every detail, but let's just see, because this is where the sad part starts. I'm home, thank you for a great evening. And then I was like, thank you, really enjoyed it despite some of the awkwardness, hahaha. And then he was like, oh, there's always gonna be some awkwardness on first meetings, gonna go to sleep, good night. And then I was like, hopefully meet you again, good night. That was it. Then next day I was like, because he usually texted me like every day, like just asking like, how's your day, blah blah blah. And then he didn't text me the next day. I was like, okay, what's wrong? I asked the night of the next day, like, how was your day? And then he was just like, very good, being really busy. And I was like, okay, did you do anything special today? And I just basically told him about my day, and yeah, and then he answered like what he did that day. And oh yeah, he asked how was my day, and I told him yeah. And then he explained more about his day, and really sleepy, looking forward to relaxing at the weekend. And that was the last text ever I got from him. And then like I answered that text like 8 minutes after. Asked, do you have any plans for the weekend other than relaxing, hahaha? And didn't get an answer. He hasn't even read the texts, and I just basically left it there until Sunday. I asked like, are you alive, haha? Never read that text, never answered to me. And basically that's the last text I sent him, and I've never heard from him again. And that was a month ago. And this is not me being... I was really not sad, but I was just kind of let down because I was really excited. And I thought he was excited too. And I was just like, finally something good's happening to me, and then it didn't. So I was just kind of let down and really like overthinking about stuff like, oh, what did I do wrong? What should have gone differently? And basically he told me that he'll pay me back like after when we meet like the movie tickets. And then, but obviously, as it turns out, he ignored me and never paid, so I ended up paying for the movie tickets. So I don't know if he was just after a free movie, if that what his intentions were. I'm just gonna be like, please, like, don't even bother with me anymore, because that's really mean, I think. And then basically a few weeks after, because we had talked on Snapchat, so I was just like, at this point I was like, oh, maybe his phone is broken or something, like maybe he's just, because he never read the texts. Like, it would be different if he read them and didn't answer, but he didn't even read the texts, so he might not even have them. So I Snapchatted him. So basically I just bought these new shoes and I was just like Snapchatting them to everybody. Oh, look at my new shoes, like my friends. And then I like sent that to him too, because I was just like, oh, let's just see what happens. Like, maybe he reads that and maybe he like answers. No, he opens the Snapchat and doesn't answer. And then because I was just being desperate, not desperate, but I just wanted to like have some reason on like why would you treat someone like that. So I just sent him like, oh, so you are alive, how are you? And never opened the snap. Ignores me, which sucks a lot. Like, why would you do that to someone else? Like, I would never ignore anyone. And if you feel like ignoring someone, don't. If you find like you don't like someone and you want them to stop texting you and just don't want nothing to do with them anymore, tell them like, I'm not interested. Bye. Basically, like, if he had told me that, would save me so much time, like energy thinking. Like, if he would have told me that after the first date, like the first text after, I guess I would have asked like, okay, what did I do wrong? But then I would like know that he's not interested. But this is like not knowing anything like until after, like a month after, when you haven't heard from them anymore. So you know they're ignoring you. My friends, I told my friend too, and she was like, oh yeah, like, that is weird, because he had texted me like long texts. You know, when you're like ignoring someone, you would just like say, cool, okay, yeah. But he had texted me like long texts after the date. Yeah, basically that's my story of how I am still being, well, not anymore, because I don't text him anymore. I don't think I still think about him sometimes because I just want to understand why did that happen, but I still don't understand. And maybe I get a reasonable answer for this at some point, but if not, I'm just like, okay, there are assholes in this world and beware of them. Even the nicest ones might turn out to be assholes, so just be careful. Just internalize that in your brain. Like, just know that not everyone is fun or nice. And just for me, I've only had the assholes. Like, I haven't had anyone that's actually like nice. Like, all the people I've been talking to are like assholes, and I can tell more about them on my videos if you like this one. But yeah, moral of the story, long story short, don't ignore people. If you feel like ignoring them, just tell them you're not interested. If you're being ignored, you're not alone. I'm here. I know the pain. And just know that you are good as yourself. You don't have to change for anyone. You just have to keep going on and ignore those ignoring people. Ignore the ignorers. Yeah, and don't care. Like, just know you are enough as you. You don't have to change for anyone, and the reason why they're ignoring you is not you, it's them. It's their fault. They don't know what they're missing. So yeah, that was my video. I hope you liked it. I felt like opening up to you, and yeah, if you like these kinds of videos, please let me know, and a thumbs up too, and I will see you in my next video. And come back here to paradise. Bye everyone.